Donkeys of years ago, there lived a tailor, and he was an awfully good tailor. He made clothes for the king and for the queen, and everybody used to go about the town swanking with his beautiful clothes that the tailor made. It was everybody except the tailor. He was a scruff bug. He went about in an awful mess of dirt, all torn tattered trousers, torn scabby shirts, monkey jackets, moth-eaten and clotty. And one day the king was looking at his spyglass for his castle, and he spies the tailor, and he says to his wife, "I'm shamed to death. Look at the mess that the royal tailor goes about in." And the queen looks and she says, "Oh my, we can't hear a royal tailor as clotty as that. Tell that tailor I want to see him." So he sends a messenger, and the messenger says, "Tailor, the king wants to see you. You must have did something to annoy him." So the tailor comes up, and he's kind of fierce to the king. And the king says, "Tailor, tell me this. How come you make such beautiful clothes for everybody, and you go about in such a mess of clot?" He says, "Well, to tell you the truth, king, I'm so busy making clothes for other people, I never get time to make anything to myself." He says, "Well, that's going to stop from this minute." And the king goes into his cupboard, and he takes out a ream of royal blue cloth. And it was the finest cloth that ever was on the face of the earth. And there was no other cloth like this. And the king says, "Take this cloth, tailor, go home and make yourself something new." So he takes this cloth from his beautiful royal blue cloth, the only cloth like it in the world. And that night he gets out his scissors and his needles, and he cuts and cuts, he snips and snips and sews and sews. And when he's finished, he makes himself the most beautiful royal blue coat that you ever did see. It had big fancy lapels, nice buttons, and it was right down till his feet, because that was the style on that day. Now, the folk that lived in this town were accustomed to seeing the tailor going about like a scruff bag. But this morning, when they look, he's dressed in his new coat, and the people look, and some folks say, "Fit a bonny coat." And other folks says, "Can you make me in like that?" And the tailor replied, "Sorry, no more material." And so he wore his coat, and he wore his coat, and he wore his coat. But after you wear something for a long, long time, his coat started to get a bit manky and scabby and torn looking and raggedy. So he comes home this day, and he's eating his supper, and he says, "I'm sick and tired wearing this old coat. To the bucket with it." So he chucks it into the bucket. But as he looks in the bucket, he notices there's some bonny material still in the coat. And he says, "I could make something out of that." So he picks up a coat, and he cuts and cuts, snips and snips and sews, and with a good bit of material, he makes himself a really nice jacket. The next day in the town, the folks say, "Fit a bonny jacket. Can you make me in like that?" "Sorry, there's no more material." So he wears his jacket and wears his jacket and wears the jacket. And after a long time, the jacket starts to get moth-eaten and worn and scabby and manky. And this day he's sitting eating his supper. He says, "I'm fed up and scunnered wearing this old jacket." So he chucks it to the bucket with it. But he keeps looking in the bucket, and he notices there's still some bonny material there. He says, "I can make something out of that." Picks it up, cuts, snips, sews, and when he's finished, he makes the most beautiful waistcoat that you ever did see, the kind that snooker players would give their eye teeth for. The next day, when he walks down the town, the folks say, "Fit a bonny waistcoat. Can you make me in like that?" "Sorry, no more material." So he wears a waistcoat and wears a waistcoat and wears a waistcoat, until the waistcoat starts getting useless and hanging in bits, and he said, "Oh, I'm fed up and scunnered wearing this waistcoat. To the bucket with it, plonk." But he keeps looking in the bucket, and he notices there's still one or two bonny bits of material. He says, I can mark something out of that. Picks it up, cuts, snip, sews, and when he's finished, he gets 3 wee bits of material, shoes it together, and he puts it on as a scarf. And the next day he goes walking down with his scarf, and the folk says, fit a bonny scarf, can you mark me in like that? Sorry, no more material. So he wears the scarf and wears the scarf and wears the scarf. Till one day he looks, the scarf's just hanging in bits. He says, eating his supper, and he says, I'm fed up and scunnered wearing this scarf. Plunk, tear the bucket with it. But he's got half a good eyesight, this tailor, and he's an Aberdeen tailor, and he looks down and he says, there's still some bonny bits of material there. I could mark something out of that. So he picks it up, cuts, snip, sews, and he marks himself a tie. And the next day he goes down it too, and he sort of fingering his tie as much as say, here, gander, fit him a wearing. And the folk say, fit a bonny tie, can you mark me in like that? Sorry, no more material. So he wears a tie and wears a tie and wears a tie. And after a long time, the tie starts getting worn, and the tailor says, I'm fed up and scunnered wearing this old tie. Plunk, tear the bucket with it. But he keeps looking in the bucket. He says, there's still some bonny bits of material there. I could mark something out of that. Picks up a tie, cuts, snip, sews it, and he marks it into a wee bow tie. Twing. The next day he puts on his bow tie, looking very smart, holding his head up high, and the folk looks at it. Fit a bonny bow tie. Could you mark me one like that? Sorry, no more material. So he wears a bow tie and wears a bow tie and wears a bow tie. Till one day the bow tie's in bitties, and he says, I'm seeking scunnered wearing this bow tie. Tear the bucket with it. Plunk! But he keeps looking in the bucket because he's got really good eyesight. He says, there's some bonny bits of material there. So he picks it out and he cuts, and he gets a wee tiny square. And he says, now, fit could I do with it? He says, I can't all day. I'll cover a button. So he gets a button and he covers the button. Now see, by this time, his bag being a scruff bag again. His clays are manky and clotty and moth-eaten, but he's got the bonniest wee button that you ever did see. And he's doing it too, and he's flashing off his button to Ab. He says, come on, here, gander, look at this lovely wee button. And the folk say, fat a bonny button. Can you mark me one like that? Sorry, no more material. So he wears a button and he wears a button and he wears a button and he wears a button, till one day the material off the button is just hanging in bits. And he pulls it out and he says, I'm fed up and scunnered wearing this button. Blink! To the bucket with it. But he's got very, very, very good eyesight. He keeps looking in the bucket. And he says, there's still a good bit of material there. I could mark it into something. So he picked up this wee bit of material. And if you were to take your 2 index fingers and put them together, see if your fingers are touching in another. Well, the space in between for your fingers is touching is the size of the bit of material that he had to work with. Now, it so happened he could say he could mark something out of it. Now, the thing was, he was wondering, what was it he could mark out of it? He says, I could mark something very, very, very tiny that you could hardly see. Or I could mark it into something very, very, very big and large, and something is valuable, and I could mark it into something worth a lot of money. And you get all kind of thoughts what bairns say to you. Like I said to one bairn, I says, what do you think you could mark it into? And he says, sir, you could make it into a pair of slippers for an amoeba. I didn't even care what an amoeba was. And I says, no, it was too little to make a pair of slippers for an amoeba. And he says, another wee lad, he says, he could make a hanky for a flech. I said, it was even too little to make a hanky for a flech. I said, but if I told you he made it into something really, really big, and something that touches every person that hears my voice. I said, he made it into something really, really big. And you want to ken what he made it into? Well, he made it into a story. And that's the story you're listening to just now.